during this lockdown, as the lockdown started in the 5th day or so, the person who painted our house, he is from Jharkhand. He gave a call to us saying that, "Sir, khana nahi hai hamare paas. We don't have food because the shops have been shut. And in fact, we ourselves are facing difficulties." And so when we asked him details, he said there are like 40 of us in our basti. This is in Kovaram, one area.
I was trying to call different people, NGOs, government, and didn't get any real answers. Then someone gave me a contact of a hotel person who was a restaurant chap who was making packed lunches. So I called him and he said, "Sure, we'll go and give." "How many people?" So I said 40 people. So he went there and he called me, and the restaurant chef called me from there, and he was shouting at me saying that, "How can you say 40 people? There are like 400 people here."
हाँ नहीं आपको पंचायत से राशन मिलेगा।
जिसका भी होता है हाँ उसको पंचायत में ठीक है।
Let's put it on this side. No, this is up. जगह रखो अपने बीच में।
वो नहीं जाता क्या बोलने का बोला उसको, वो बिल्ले खंबे पे वो गड़ाने का बोला।
दोस्त तुम्हारा नाम क्या है यार?
मेरा नाम विक्रम है।
विक्रम, तो तुम भी इधर ही था जब ये चालू हुआ, ये जब ये लॉकडाउन हुआ? तुम इधर काम करते?
इधर ही काम कर रहा था तो बंद हो गया तो खुद में क्योंकि जिधर भी मिलता था खाना उन्हें खाता था, जो भी पात्र में काम करता था तो देता था, नहीं तो ऐसे ही रहता था।
ऐसे ही रहता था?
खाना ला के देता था सरदार ने 3 बजे।
हाँ,
वो खाता था और रहता था।
तो फिर अभी तुमको लगता है कि खाने का सब व्यवस्था सब लोग के लिए हो चुका है? काम वाम सबको मिल गया? ऐसे सच है बात?
काम को नहीं, सबको नहीं मिला। हम लोग काम मिलता था, इधर क्यों आता? अभी इतना टाइम हो गया किधर मिलता है? बैठा हुआ हम लोग।
अच्छा,
हम लोग गाँव जाने के लिए एक ही बात बोल रहा हूँ कि गाँव जाने के लिए हम लोग का परमिशन मिले, हम लोग गाँव जाएगा। क्यों इधर भूखा प्यासा रहेगा? मैसेज दिया है ना पुलिस वाले को, हम लोग मैसेज दिया कि हम लोग के गांव जाने का है, तो बोलता है ठीक है मैसेज आएगा तो जाएगा रे, मैसेज नहीं आएगा तो हम लोग क्या खाएगा इधर? हम लोग पंचायत में भी गया था, पंचायत के बाद बोलता है हमारा मैसेज में मापसा में दिया रे, हमारा जो भी कागज पत्र है मैं मापसा में डाला। अब बोलता डायरेक्ट कलेक्टर से बात करो। हम लोग तो उतना है ही नहीं पैसे वाले से हम डायरेक्ट कलेक्टर से बात करेंगे। इधर को कौन है हम लोग उतना जानता ही नहीं है।
Can you tell us your name for the start?
My name is Raj. I'm from Karnataka.
Okay.
And you know, out of state people, they are working every day and they get money for evening time. So they have no proper to eat every day. So this is a good social service to serve people food and some like this. And some people they can't get good proper like social service. So this is very good for.
Okay. So when you heard about the lockdown, where were you? You were in Goa?
No, I'm in Goa. I'm still working that time. But after lockdown, we don't have any work and we just stay in home.
Oh no. Okay.
And we can't go our state because of the lockdown. So we can't get the proper food and proper stay to home. So it's very difficult now.
So do you think that it's become easier after the lockdown has been lifted a little bit and we become a green zone? Do you think that people are getting jobs easily, or is it still a struggle for the real people?
I don't think so, because after lockdown it's very struggling to get jobs like us people, you know. We can't get we don't have a proper educate, so we have to go like helping for builders and be working in the restaurant like that. So I don't think so we can't get proper job.
और कोई गवर्नमेंट से कोई आदमी आके आपका कुछ सर्वे करके क्या कह रहे हैं तुमको काम है? कोई वेबसाइट पे डालते हैं नाम? नहीं है, कुछ नहीं हुआ ऐसे।
जैसे हम फॉर्म फिलअप अप्लाई किया हूँ पंचायत में, वो गवर्नमेंट बोल रहा है जो तुम लोग फ्री में लेके जाएगा, पश्चिम बंगाल पहुँचा जाएगा, जो जहाँ का है वहाँ का भेजा जाएगा। लेकिन अभी तक कोई अप्लाई नहीं आया सर। हम लोग कहीं पड़ा हूँ, बस इतना ही सुना हूँ सर। आज से 4-5 दिन पहले सुना हूँ जो कोई हमारा गांव का गया है, पैदल ही चल पड़ा है।
पैदल चल गए?
हाँ, पैदल ही चल पड़ा है।
ओ यार, और पहुँचेगा कभी कैसे कुछ?
अब कैसे बताएंगे सर, काटा गाड़ी में जा रहा है। पश्चिम बंगाल तो बहुत दूर है, 2400-2500 किलोमीटर है। इतना तो जैसे हम लोग भी 16-17 बंदा हूँ, निकालने में डर करते हैं। कहीं अगर रास्ते में कुछ हो जाएगा तो कोई संभालने वाला नहीं है।
This was not there. This was not there. We admit.
Then I have to thank you. Then I say thank you because you made it better. Thank you. You have done your social service. I am doing mine. Okay? Now conversation is over because I have to do mine. I don't want to be rude to you.
You can't be rude to me.
I don't want to. We are all going. Even I am going, you are going.
What's your name?
Mark Bissell.
Mark Bissell.
What is your name?
Fernandez. Michael Fernandez. My problem is what? My problem. You are coming to my village.
No, your village, my village. I am only seeing hungry people. I have nothing to do with.
Where these hungry people were?
You come to them only. Where? कहाँ से हो?
Blazer phone.
Arya, Wada.
Blazer phone. Phone.
You ask them.
I want to see where hungry villages are there. Social distancing is the main issue. I have no concern.
You are from this village?
I am from this village. I am from this ward. Okay, my concern is not what he is doing. He is doing a human service. I appreciate that, and I have told him that. The only problem is social distancing. He is not maintaining it, and he is arguing with me. Why? I want to stop. I will stop it. Simple is that.
Yeah.
I don't my village to get infected.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows out of this group. Nobody knows who is what.
बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है लोगों को, बहुत परेशानी हो रही है। खाने के वांदे आ गए हैं। बहुत मजबूरी से लोग चल रहे हैं। कोई आता है किराया पूछता है, कोई कर्जे वाला आता है परेशान करता है। क्या करेंगे हम लोग? क्या खाने कोई नहीं तो उनको किधर से देने का, ऐसी हालत हो गई है।
हमारा पति टेलर है, उनका भी सब काम टफ हो गया, सब सीजन है डाउन हो गया। अब ये तो ऐसा हालत हो गया कि आपको चाय दूध भी लाने के लिए पैसे भी नहीं। ऐसा हालत में हम लोग भगवान से की प्रार्थना करते हैं सब जल्द से जल्द बंद हो जाए, सब अच्छा हो जाए।
ऐसे लेबर का काम जाते थे, अभी बंद हो गया है तो सब घर में बैठे हुए हैं। तो अभी जो दे रहे हैं वही, जो जहाँ से मिल रहा है वही खा रहे हैं सर। तो मिलेगा तो हम लोग काम करने के लिए तो हम तो रेडी है। जो भी काम के लिए मिलेगा हम करने के लिए रेडी है।
लेकिन
सरकार को हमको यही बोलना है कि हमको मजदूर लोगों को काम दो सर, काम दो। बस काम मिलेगा तो हम कहीं से भी खरीद के खा सकते हैं। तो काम नहीं तो फिर खाना भी मुश्किल हो जाएगा। बस यही सरकार से हमको ये विनती है कि हमको काम दो बस।
आपको भी लगता है यही बात कि काम होगा तो सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा?
हाँ, काम होगा तो सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा कम से कम।
इतना डिस्टेंस रखिए सब, पीछे हो जाइए, पीछे हो जाइए।
Oh shit.
अभी ऑर्डर है बंद करने का ये सब, क्योंकि बोल रहे हैं डिस्टेंस नहीं रखा आप लोगों ने। बोलिए, हाथ खोलिए, हाथ खोलिए सब। अभी पुलिस की गाड़ी आएगी ना, बंद हो जाएगा सब, अपने अपने घर जाना पड़ेगा। क्या फायदा है? खोलिए अपना हाथ जल्दी जल्दी, हाथ खोलिए, पीछे जाइए। गाड़ी आएगी।
So my name is Vijaya. I've been working with the humanitarian helpline since the start, which is on the 22nd of March. On day one, because that was the first post that went viral, we got 40,000 calls. And all of those people were desperate for food. And a lot of people that had money in the months of March and April don't have any money now. And they're all desperate. to work, they're desperate for food, they're desperate for money, they're desperate to go home, and they are just really frustrated and traumatized because they don't know what to do. And I don't know what to tell them, to be honest. Also, the people here, they live here, and I don't know what the long-term solution is for them, because, for instance, this one feeding ground, we've identified 1,300 people in this village in Kandali, in Aradi. It's just one tiny little area which I don't think any of us even knew existed. 1,300 people, and this one feeding ground costs 1,39,000.
Honestly, the biggest issue, of course, has been funds. Every week we are scrambling. But more than that, it's volunteer burnout. Because very few from day one who are volunteers are still on ground volunteers, because a lot of them have burnt out. So we have a lot of volunteers who now call the helpline for rations or call us because they have run out of money. No work has started. There's really very little government on ground support. So volunteers has been a bigger challenge, to be very honest, now in these last 2-3 weeks. The first time we went into Aradi, we got mobbed. Okay, so this is how we realized there's no point doing distribution there. You do it a distance away, because even if you tell them one person from home, everybody's out. I mean, it's been exhausting, but I don't know, both for me, Vijay, everybody else, it was just like, what, you're going to let them be hungry? And I mean, we were lucky, we had food and everything in the house.
Was this situation inevitable? I would say it could have been avoided. It certainly could have been avoided if state governments had to take an all-encompassing look. Not state governments only, but panchayats and people in general had to take an all-encompassing look, like, okay, if my stomach's being fed, just to make sure that my neighbors is being fed. Okay, and if we had to take that approach, then of course it could have been avoided. I mean, that's taking a really simplistic look at it. I mean, every one of these people are a part of Goa. They might be from other states, okay, but they're definitely a part of Goa. I mean, they're working on in any numerous projects, building Goa. For the better or for the worse, I won't comment, but they're a part of it. So, I mean, yes, this is why I am in Goa.
If you were to put a pin, say on a date, when this thing will stop being a sustainable exercise, with being able to feed all of these people through funds that are coming in from private individuals,
Right.
How long do we have before this thing breaks down?
I would say maybe till the end of this month.
Source even rice or potato or onion, because during that 5th, 6th day of lockdown, the first lockdown, so in March around 29th, I remember the date, that where to get the stuff. So then I went looking around, and then there was someone, a neighbor told that there's one person selling it at high prices
It was
somewhere
almost
else.
like this black market thing that was happening.
So we decided they have to be helped, so we will just have to buy it. So we went late at night at some 11 o'clock there, bought the stuff, onions, potato, 4 items, dal, rice, onion and potatoes. And we figured a formula that every person should get so much.
I said some hotels and all, through our network, if you manage to find the manager, the owner's number, we've actually called them and said that if you don't give rations to your staff, we will escalate the complaint to the incident commander and the collector. And then some of them have started. So that's also happened. But that's, like I said, if we manage to get lucky to find because a lot of the owners are sitting in Delhi, Calcutta, Bangalore, Hyderabad.
Right.
So they've just kind of abandoned them, yeah.
टिकट नहीं करे आई नहीं करे आज 24 तारीख
Louisa.
Okay, so what is the purpose of this survey?
So according to this survey, they are saying that this is a report that will be sent to the government of Goa with a list of policy recommendations to address the plight of workers in the state. So this is a survey for that, and the identity is kept anonymous, and nothing, nobody will know, and people can choose if they want to answer or not. That's it.
Okay, so is this the first time you're doing this? Like, is this the first cluster you are doing the survey for, or are you doing it around across the state?
It's the first time.
Okay.
I just got information today evening that they need Hindi speakers who have a laptop, and I was at home, so I agree.
Okay. So what do you do otherwise?
Otherwise, I'm a language teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what are you trying to analyze with the survey? Like, what kind of questions are you asking them to get an idea?
So it's divided into certain sections. Like, let's say in total, you can check this also with your camera if you feel like. So one of the section is going home section.
Okay.
One of the section is loans and assets. One of the section is access to relief measures organized by CSOs. Measures from contractor or employer. Relief measures from the government. And then this is like a general information about demographic.
Okay.
Let me check my original Excel sheet. Maybe when we copy all the data.
Construction has started only for repairs of homes. It's not really started for building construction which was supposed to start. That hasn't started. So some labor may be getting used for repairs of homes and all. So it's not like construction has started in the big way.
So you get more people like this, like who have not registered with you guys, like like this guy.
No, actually, in other places we get. The last time we were there were a whole lot of new people. But here it's a lot more organized and very few new people.
So what do you do in such cases, like where somebody comes without any kind of registration or like?
We generally have their Aadhaar cards to see whether they are genuine people.
And so what kind of data are you entering? Like what are the information that you gather from?
Like we find out where they are from, number of people in their house, what kind of work they did. So it's like a database that we create, and this helps in identification also. When they don't come again and again, they'll come and then their sister will go and stand, the brother will go and stand in the queue and come again. So they don't do that generally, but we at least have a database of who we are catering to, because we are also answerable to people who are.
So this is what we are doing here in Rwanda. It's a little bit tricky, because if these outstation guys go home, who is going to do the work? Because Goa is so dependent on these outside guys to do the actual work. I don't know why is it so, but it's going to hit Goa bad if and when all these guys decide to leave.
So you think the government should have done a better job in taking care of the migrants?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And we are all human beings. You have a different passport, I have a different passport. So what? If the government is giving food, give it. Done. Why we are having so many people here today? Because they are not voting here. I'm sorry, but it's kind of a rude thing for these guys. Hey. And this is kind of the worst this kind of situation I've ever seen before, man. Ever. And I have lived here, there, everywhere, but this is kind of the worst that I have seen at the moment. And it's all over. It's not only here. It's all over. It's crazy thing, man. Crazy thing.
ये बोलो तो सही नहीं हम लोग पढ़ते जा रहे थे लेकिन हम लोग वो पहले आते थे कंप्लीट करते थे ना ये
नाम बोलो
सही
So we circulated amongst our friends that we're trying to raise some money for this because it was quite a bit for us to fund completely ourselves. Luckily, people just immediately gave money, which was amazing because within like 2-3 hours of us sending this WhatsApp message to a few friends, we collected money. Meanwhile, we were sourcing everything.
Yeah, and then we planned a distribution the next day.
Distance, distance,
We come here every day, 12, 15 to 12.
Right.
Every day.
Actually, I didn't thought that I will do this because it was lockdown, so everyone is at home, and suddenly one day 2-3 people called me that madam, we came to know that you are a social worker, please help us for the food or grocery or whatever it is. We are hungry because of less of money, no work now. So I told my husband, we'll do something and we'll feed them. So on that one word only he said yes, and my family also, they also supported me. They said yes, and we started.
So you are only, it's like self-funded, like
Yes, and some of our friends, they are also giving some groceries. Some of them, they are giving vegetables, dal, rice, and stuff.
Okay. So you are feeding in other areas also?
Yeah,
like,
Saligaon.
Okay.
Saligaon, Kalangut, in Kandolim, Arpora, and Kankia people, I used to give them every day, but now they went to their native places.
Okay, so like not every day you can do it, and every
I do
place.
every day.
Every day.
For all these places.
Yes.
So how many people have you fed so far? You have any idea?
I think first we started for 100 people, and then it went increasing. Almost 400 people every day.
Every day.
No, I'm the MLA, ex-MLA, Minister, Tourism Minister. Dilip Palulekar.
Any sort of needs for Arpora in relation to dry rations or registration of stranded workers or just following up with people to check at the community level where anybody has any symptoms. All of that is what we have been doing since the month of March. It didn't start with a systematic needs assessment, particularly in a pandemic situation. We were not prepared initially to step in and do a rapid assessment or a needs assessment. So it actually grew and evolved quite generically, the needs. So people were, at the beginning when we would be halting somewhere, others would come in and talk to us, and the list kept expanding. But with every expanding list and community, we started to establish community representatives. So they became our focal points. So they would send us a list, we would come back, check the names, check which states they are from. So it was generically, but not, we didn't proactively go out and do a survey.
No. How long can we carry on? We actually stopped 2 times now in between, yeah? Both because we planned and handed over to the government, yeah? 2 times. But then we found that they could not do beyond a certain point. It was sporadic. It was not everybody in the community was getting. And therefore we had to step back in again, and this was again, today was an example of that. I think it is not sustainable in the way we're doing it right now. The donations are getting less, yeah. Also, I think we need to understand communities better before we decide how do we want to respond next. So we can't just anymore go around, I think, simply doing rounds and rounds of distribution. I think we need to pause, but attend to what is urgent, yeah, but then maybe relook at and engage with the communities before we make the next steps.
हमने जितना भी गिन के लाया वो एक जगह पे मिला, अब और एक जगह जाना है, तो आपको देंगे तो उनके लिए कम पड़ जाएगा। We are a team of just citizens doing this, so there's no particular organization, but there are a few names that we associate with, like there's a Goa Humanitarian Helpline where we also support. There's something called the Migrant Support Group. Today all the groceries that have come here have come from the Migrant Support Group, which is again a citizen-driven initiative. So we're all together now collaborating. Initially there were smaller pockets of volunteers, but now in order to avoid replication and avoid inefficiencies, we've all joined hands together. So just our smaller group team, we've fed about 2,200 people. But largely with all the other teams, I think we probably as a whole citizenry would have crossed some 30,000 plus people. The idea was never to create a parallel system to compete with the government. Generally, if I have to make a statement, I feel that the government has all the infrastructure, I feel they have all the resources, but what they lack is the will to do something. And I think it's that lethargy that is transmitted throughout the system, as a result of which you hear so many people in the government also say that, you know, there is no problem at all.
गरम वाला
पानी किसको नहीं मिला? मिला नहीं मिला, हाथ खड़े करो। किसको नहीं मिला रे?
विराट साकार टॉप सिंगर।
आओ सबको पानी मिला, आओ जाओ।
From relief, we went into rehabilitation in terms of getting employment and also in terms of counseling because a lot of the desperation levels have reached like pitch high. Some of them had actually had 2 back-to-back episodes. In the afternoon, after taking the cooked food, they ate the lunch, they set off. And around Mapsa, they were caught by the police. They set off on foot, saying we're done here. And they were caught by the police and sent back. The same evening, they got into a truck. And that truck took them to the border. And they asked him to get off at the forest. walk through the forest, cross across the border there. But they followed the railway tracks and they landed up at the Perne railway station, where they were again intercepted by cops and sent back.
Oh.
So there was because of it was very traumatic, and so a lot of them were highly disturbed. They were even saying that they were going to do a mass suicide from the Mandavi bridge.
So the thing is that the situation is changing almost every hour. So people are walking to the stations, right? And then the authorities realize that that's a bad idea because the stations are getting very crowded. So then they came up with the system of having holding areas which are close to the station but not at the station, where people are told about which district the train is going to, and then they are put into buses and sent to the station. So then we realized that people are just coming to the holding areas and they are having to wait for the whole day. So we started providing some dry snack, just chai, biscuit, vada pav, that kind of a thing at the holding areas. We thought we were fundraising only for that, and then suddenly we heard about trains not having enough food, and now we're having to fundraise for that. And now we're also moving to providing rations on trains, because we are hearing really miserable news about people starving and dying of dehydration. So in one group we fed around 11,000 people for over 2 months now. At the moment I see that personally I feel every few days I feel okay, now I can probably breathe, but as soon as I think about breathing there's another task at hand. So we are very few volunteers now on ground, and we are required to also keep our families running. Now that I have the experience of people calling back and saying, "Madam, ghar pahunch gaye, thank you so much," and they sound happy and relieved. Not happy, I would say relieved. Yes, I will do it again. All over. I might do it with some corrections and more empathy than sympathy. I'll do it again.
It's for me, honestly, when I was there, I think it was a huge reality check. You know, all this news that you're seeing online and stuff, it doesn't, you kind of know about it, but you're not actively witnessing this crisis. So for me, it was, I, as somebody who live in Aldona, who's not from Goa originally, I did not know there were so many migrant workers. Aldona is a small town, and when I came here, it wasn't just the number of people, but also there were like these numerous instances where we could, like, it was pretty evident people were desperate. Like, you know, there were people who were close to tears, and when we couldn't provide enough, there were people who were just like, this will not last us. We were trying to ration it out as much as possible, and like it was a harsh reality check. If I was to sum it up, it was a very harsh reality check that, okay, this is a very real problem. I was overcome by this sense of, again, like, despite helping people, there was still like this helplessness, because we realized there's a limit to how much we can help. So it was, I think, out of that helplessness, my artwork and poetry came out. It was just me kind of voicing a moment of like powerlessness. Like, I don't know, I know a lot of people feeling bad and responding to stories about this, saying, oh, this is horrible, but I mean, it was just very reflective, honestly. Like, pity at the end of the day does nothing. You have to be in a privileged position to pity somebody.
And also, I think they shouldn't see this us versus them. Even we have felt, we were told clearly, like, you are not going to get rations because you are not a voter. Clearly told by our ward member. This is our situation, so you can well imagine what is their situation. We had people like Goans threatening us, saying that you are doing for them, you are not doing for us. So I had to say, yeah, please go and ask your government, ask your panchayat guy, ask your ward member, ask your MLA. You have so many people you can go and demand. Where are these guys going to go and demand?
So obviously I share my artwork on Instagram and stuff and social media. I got like a lot of positive reaction for the work, and then First Post decided to feature the artwork on their website. So that was turned into a title that summed it up, saying in Aldona, Goa, migrants are bereft of food and income. I think they were providing context. I think they were because my art was basically about how pity means nothing right now. Yeah, it was projected as, you know, this non-Goan comes in and talks badly about our village. So that became a narrative, but luckily a lot of people did come to my defense. It was cleared out and like clarified to them that I was, as a matter of fact, part of the volunteering group. And I'm sure most of these people didn't even read the full article. They jumped to conclusions based off of the title. But yeah, that was that. It became a huge deal for a day, but like as all Facebook group scandals go, it died out too. So
can you show me where your artwork actually took place in this place that we are in?
So we were actually standing here, like the van and everything was here. So we set up the mats and all the resources here and distribute here. And there were two lines. There was a line here and there was a line here along this line. So my artworks are of the people who were sitting here while we were all waiting for more supplies to come in.
So this platform we see here is where they were really seated?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So can we just can we go sit in that spot where you actually created your artwork? Because I'm going to ask you to do something very strange. I'm going to ask you to read the poem that you wrote, right? You wrote this poem,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I was wondering if you could read to us the poem that accompanied your art here.
For sure. I'm very flattered.
You can sit down and let's feel like those people felt at that point in time.
I have newfound spite for pity. It has the bitter aftertaste of privilege. It is cloaked in a handsome savior complex. It exists in a binary state of being. Like some people exist to be lesser, to be unfortunate, to be miserable. For some people to shed a tear for, to be humanitarian for, to be noble for. As if my gaze does anything to the linings of starved stomachs or the helplessness of the deprived. As if the poor and the needy are filters dawned on to make my sins disappear or to make my life virtuous. As if the tears that well up in my eyes make me any better a person. As if their blood and sweat exist to pave a path for me to be judged worthy of heaven. As if my pity is anything but self-indulgent, since I'll probably not even remember their faces tomorrow. As if my pity even minorly undoes the injustice. Pity does nothing. Nobody ever desires it. Pity is the coin that you flick for fate to fall on its surface. Pity folds itself in a corner to weep until it gets too dark for anybody else to see. And yet it creeps up under my skin to remind me that I am, after all, a product of a society that feeds on itself. Pity exists as the bare minimum to feel like a good human. At least I feel bad for them, right? Wrong.